Lots of times clients come in and they spend an hour, hour and a half with us, whatever it takes for us to find out what their problems are, make recommendations to them and give them solutions to those problems. Most often, with the clients that we see, we recommend bankruptcy, but there are times that we don't. But for those instances in which we do recommend that a bankruptcy filed, sometimes we get this question: what do I need you for? What do I need an attorney for? And that's a good question, but it's a pretty simple answer. Bankruptcy is a very difficult and complex area. It's one of the areas of the law that virtually includes every other area of the law: tax issues, foreclosure issues, loan workout issues, credit issues. The list goes on and on and on. And every single client has a different scenario and a different need for counsel. It's almost impossible for an individual to file a successful Chapter 7, no less a Chapter 13 plan. So when you file these things, if you were to do it yourself, first of all, you'd have to educate yourself as to what goes into those petitions, the different schedules and components of the Chapter 13 or Chapter 7 filing. And there are difficult concepts to learn, and some which are probably beyond most people. It's not that it's impossible, but it is very difficult. In those instances, when I've been in court or at trustee meetings, the 341 meetings, for people who have tried to represent themselves, they've had a very difficult time. And the trustees are not very forgiving of mistakes because they have a job to do, they want to do it efficiently, and they don't have time to teach you how to file a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 on the fly. So they would prefer to have counsel there, and having counsel helps you kind of grease the skids for your petition. Does it cost money? Yes, it does. But it can also increase the likelihood that you're going to get the discharge that you're after. That's that release of debt that everybody is seeking when they file either Chapter 7 or a 13. And the Chapter 7 trustees are absolutely brutal in their questioning of people if they have tried to file these themselves. And very often they'll see that, you know, even though you said that you're doing it yourself, you might have hired outside counsel other than an actual attorney. And if you pay those people, you have to disclose it. And often people who don't use regular counsel, such as Goodman and Associates in our office, they often use a paralegal or somebody who holds themselves out as an expert in bankruptcy and who really doesn't know all that they need to know. And a lot of mistakes are made in the petition that can only cost you time, and ultimately it will cost you money. And it may cost you the ability to get the discharge that you want. So there's an old adage that the person who represents himself has a fool for a client. It's probably more true in bankruptcy than in most areas. And I highly recommend that you talk to knowledgeable bankruptcy counsel and consider what they have to say and what their fees are. At Goodman & Associates, we try to be competitive with our fees and fair with our clients. And so we do have some modification of fees based on people's circumstances. So if a person who has a higher income is not going to pay the same type of thing as people who have only Social Security income coming in and have very, very limited budgets, because we try to make sure that everybody has access to the courts through our office and has adequate representation and ultimately gets the discharge that they're looking for.